You know, most YouTube channels will talk about popular movies and franchises, like Shrek that has hundreds of memes and grossed over $1 billion. Or the Marvel franchise that has absolutely dominated the box office ever since Iron Man was released in 2008. Or better yet, discussing movies and companies that redefine their industry like Pixar has done with animation time and time again. But today, I'm not going to do any of that. Instead, I'm going to break down why Hoodwinked is a hidden masterpiece. Let me explain. My name is Steven, and welcome to Hot Strike. Growing up, Hoodwinked was one of my favorite movies, and after a recent rewatch, I'm happy to report that it is still hilarious.
I don't know what to do. I mean, should I call her? Am I supposed to play it cool or what?
Well, she's keeping her options open. Seeing other people, probably. You should do the same.
Shh. Up there. Do you mind?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, this movie single-handedly changed how my entire family pronounced the word dynamite.
Dee-NAH-mee-tay. Must be Italian.
Okay, yes, the movie looks like this, which is worse than modern-day bootlegs of Pixar movies, but back in 2005, it was good enough to get the job done. And frankly, the shot selection is so solid that there are legit some good-looking moments. Hoodwinked was one of the first computer-animated films to be independently funded, so the creators were allowed to do whatever they wanted. With this freedom, they were able to assemble an amazing cast, push their cheap style of animation as far as it could go with expertly crafted shot choices, and turn the classic fairy tale of Little Red Riding Hood into a non-linear crime drama that is literally compared to Rashomon and Pulp Fiction on its Wikipedia. Yes, Rashomon, the Rashomon, directed by Letterboxd favorite director Akira Kurosawa, who is many people's argument for the best director ever. So how the hell is Hoodwinked related to that at all? Well, let's start with the ugly looking elephant in the room and the other big smelly green one. Hoodwinked looks like shit. There really isn't a way around that one. It does manage to do a lot with a little, and I'll break down its shot selection later, but even in 2005, this would look bad. Pixar made the first Toy Story literally 10 years before it, and Monsters Inc. 5 years earlier. Both of those films pushed 3D animation to new heights and told great stories. So yeah, I can't guarantee you're gonna love the way this film looks, but oh well.
I guarantee it.
And yes, Hoodwinked is part of the small list of films that are classified as fairy tale parodies. The first film credited as a fairy tale parody is Jack the Giant Killer from 1962, and then after The Princess Bride was released in 1987, the genre was largely left dormant, but like a phoenix rising from the ashes, it was reborn in 2001. Shrek was a huge success and became a giant franchise. It was a unique twist on fairy tales and had plenty of jokes for kids and adults. So as the kids who grew up with Shrek have gotten older, their love of the franchise has only grown. Shrek is great, but I think Hoodwinked is criminally underrated and does not deserve to be overlooked. Hoodwinked is so underrated, you can't watch it on a streaming service and you can't even rent it digitally to watch at home. You have to buy the disc from Amazon. So in Hoodwinked, the beginning starts with a typical Little Red Riding Hood fable where the big bad wolf is impersonating Red's grandma, but very quickly the story shows us it is not your ordinary fairy tale. Immediately, we are thrown into a crime scene and have to start piecing together how we got here. Nick Flippers is an investigator, and one by one he interviews the 4 main suspects: Little Red Riding Hood, the big bad wolf, the woodsman, I'm not sure what fairy tale he's from, and Red's grandma. Through their 4 different viewpoints, we get to slowly piece together what objectively happened, and this plot device is incredibly intricate for a movie that most people would write off as a crappy animated movie for kids. And this complex form of storytelling is what links Hoodwinked to Kurosawa's Rashomon. That sounds crazy to say out loud. Each viewpoint is unique and is expertly interwoven into the other stories to show that each story is subjective and that we will need all 4 to decipher the true objective sequence of events. Even when we are seeing events for the second or third time, it is fresh because something is either added, removed, or slightly different. In the forest, there has been a string of burglaries against bakeries, or goodie joints as they call them in the movie, and the investigators believe that the goodie bandit is somehow involved in this crime scene. Red's story is the most straightforward account of what happened, but there are plenty of small plot holes that the other accounts will need to explain. She is a goodie delivery girl for her grandma, who has the best recipes in the entire forest. But after a couple strange phone calls with grandma, Red realizes something is wrong and then runs into the wolf on her way to see her. The wolf story is by far the funniest and shows his side of the encounter with Red. He is a reporter who has been trying to track down the goodie bandit so he can write a story about him for the newspaper. And with his cameraman, or should I say camera squirrel, named Twitchy, they are the main source of comedy in this movie. The next viewpoint is the woodsman's, which is the least interesting, but it's still a comical depiction of actors and the hoops they jump through to try and get a role. Finally, we have Grandma's side of the story, where it's revealed that she has a big secret. Up until this point, she and the wolf are the main suspects for being the goodie bandit, but after the wolf story checks out, all the fingers pointed to her. But it's revealed that she is not the goodie bandit, but rather a crazy thrill seeker who just likes to rip off Tom Cruise. In the end, the Goody Band is revealed to be the only character that showed up in all 4 stories, this bunny named Boingo. Boingo's evil plan is to run all the Goody joints out of business, then open his huge Goody store that has a monopoly. So, Hoodwinked also has an anti-monopoly message in it that is hilarious and I love it. This layered storytelling makes a 90-minute runtime fly by. Each story has its own style and soundtrack that keeps every moment feeling new. The cast is also great. We got Anne Hathaway, Glenn Close, Jim Belushi, brother of John Belushi, David Ogden Stiers, Exhibit, and a big shout out to Patrick Warburton, who frankly never misses. What is kind of insane to me about Hoodwinked is its shot selection. Yes, the shading, texturing, and lighting are bad. The way each shot is laid out and blocked, and how the camera is utilized is impressive. From the very beginning, we are shown unique shot choices like the camera moving the wrong direction, then whipping around to find focus on Wolf dressed as Granny. The camera went from a smooth, traditional animation shot to fake handheld, as if someone was operating the camera and then was caught off guard and had to find the new subject of the shot. This handheld style is used throughout, and it gives it the sense that we are watching a live news report that is unfolding before us. Watch how the camera follows the chief and then zooms in and out to find the best framing. Everything about Hoodwinked is working against its poor animation and cartoony style. It's extremely grounded, tells a complex story through varying viewpoints, and has a deep layered message about the dangers of big businesses and how they do not have the best intentions for the consumer. And then it's just funny. We got a goat who's cursed to always sing, a human in an animal costume, an Italian mobster sheep, stereotypical European henchman, a couple musical numbers, and, well, Twitchy. It also has Nick Flippers recruit his team of secret agents at the end of the movie 2 years before Nick Fury does at the end of Iron Man. So, need I say more? There are a lot of high-level storytelling techniques that are packed into Hoodwinked, and it goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover, or you can't judge a movie by the fact you can't watch it on streaming or even rent it online. If you love Shrek, you will love Hoodwinked, because frankly, for my money, it's just as good. If I can avoid a copyright strike, I shall leave you now with a compilation of my favorite moments.
But we don't arrest people for being creepy.
Yeah, Bruce, know that guy we got in the tank?
The creepy one?
Yeah, better let him go.
Well, the bright side is, at least I finally dried up. Why couldn't I write movie reviews?
Tommy, you lose some weight?
No.
Didn't think so. What do you do for a living, Mr. Wolf?
I'm a shepherd.
Hey, my name, Kirk.
Kirk, okay, Kirk, this. What makes you feel proud and strong and mighty? What puts a fire in your belly, Stephen?